Rihanna.
What?
I think they're both very different. I think that they're the Michael Jackson and Prince of this era. So I think
Rihanna, I believe they're both totally different. I feel that they're the Michael Jackson and ruler of this period, so I think both about them are at the top. By their own doing, Rihanna has better, more immortal music that is going to endure forever, yet Beyonce is an astounding self. It figure Beyonce might have gave me a you understand what I mean, like there ought to be a bit of warmth. Their Yvette realize I got the receipts, I got them now, assuming that I received that message to Beyonce. Once I can get it to gracious goodness, I'm interface. I could get the best one could think. Jason Lee is extremely occupied, yet that doesn't prevent him from raising quite possibly of the latest questionable assertion and taking steps to extort Beyonce with what he called a tremendous piece of proof. What does he mean? Stick around as we jump profound into this most recent sensation. Hollywood opened pioneer and President Jason Lee showed up on a web recording on December 1st to communicate frustration in not being welcome to the debut of Renaissance, a narrative film by Beyonce, has been standing out as truly newsworthy after her most recent Renaissance visit got more than $500 million in income. The vocalist got gigantic recognition for focusing a light on dark entertainers and welcoming a few dark specialists to the debut of her narrative anyway. Jason Lee didn't appear to be keen to the Break My Spirit artist while talking about the Renaissance narrative and its honorary pathway depth. Jason expressed that more dark writers ought to have been welcome to the occasion. I think optically, when you do exclude other dark innovators in the way of life in the crease, remove me from it. The Morning Meal Club, you ought to have respected and acquired more individuals of color in light of the fact that Beyonce has such an enormous voice. The Tattle blogger didn't stop at taking a hit at Beyonce for not having a superior list of people to attend. He proceeded to contrast her with Rihanna, now saying that the Fenny Excellence pioneer's relationship with culture was better. I think Rihanna is more engaging to individuals since her heartbeat is on the way of life. She understands what's going on. She knows individuals who are moving the way of life, he said. Jason Lee proceeded to guarantee that he should have been welcome to the film debut since he purchased tickets worth $40,000 to 3 unique Renaissance shows. Separated from that, he guaranteed that there were alternate ways he showed support for the Radiance vocalist, yet the vocalist neglected to recognize him. He suggested having more data about the artist, yet decided to keep them stowed away, alluding to what the repercussions may be for Beyonce's fans. He indicated on the Cohavwa recording that he held a mystery connected with the diva vocalist covering her face with a piece of paper at the same time with the sound blue penciled. This left the other has stunned in the wake of yelling about what the pop star fouled up. He guaranteed they were companions, which came as a shock. Were companions in the game? Might you at any point suppose I put that on Hollywood open? So in itself, Beyonce might have given me you understand what I mean, feel like there ought to be a bit of warmth there. Jason added that Beyonce's long-lasting marketing expert, IET, Noel Schur, was likewise mindful of how he generally upheld the star, the 46-year-old media character, who is as of now running for city board in his old neighborhood of Stockton, California. Underlined DEET knew about his help regardless of whether the Renaissance artist wasn't. IET realizes I actually have the receipts, realizes I got the receipts, I got them. He said about the ticket expense he paid. That was where things began getting fascinating with an unrefined proof on the vocalist. He expected to book Kelly Rowland, Beyonce's closest companion, on his show, and on the off chance that that doesn't occur, then he will take to coercing the artist as he would be constrained to uncover her purported insider facts. I'm attempting to book Kelly Rowland right now. In the event that I don't get Kelly Rowland on the grounds that I expressed this about, then it will be an issue then. At that point, I'm putting out receipts, the receipts I just filled you in regarding then. At that point, I'll haul those out. Jason was not simply discussing the receipts he got from paying $40,000 yet. Some key data that might break the web in the event that uncovered after this web recording cut circa laid it around the web, gathering north of 4 million perspectives across virtual entertainment stages. Web clients perseveringly savaged Lee. One client composed I'm crying. Jason thinks he is Beyonce's companion. One more composed that man was in his sentiments since he burned through $40,000 on Beyonce tickets and wasn't welcome to the Renaissance debut. Jason Lee, the jokester that you are many accept that he was attempting to certainly stand out, and since it is doubtful he was companions with Beyonce, He is less conscious of any cursing mysteries. Others raised a previous cooperation between the pairs, saying, "Isn't this a similar person she was staying away from at the Stone Country's informal breakfast? That is the nearest he is truly going to get to her, and presently, he just lost his solicitation." To the following each other posted, he said in the event that he doesn't book Kelly, he will shake down Beyonce like Kelly don't ride for her sister. I think Jason Lee fails to remember the last time he asked. Beyonce ran into each other. Jason is currently coercing Beyonce for a Kelly Rowland interview. That is precisely why she took off from him at the Stone Country informal breakfast. As per Lee, he was with his companion Umar, who possesses the quick style brand pretty easily overlooked details at the party in Walk 2023. He needed to leave early and was leaving with Umar when he saw Julius, Beyonce's safety officer. Thanks to essential allowance, the tattle blogger understood that the singles woman hitmaker R must be nearby and chosen to head back inside in order to get her. Lee saw Beyonce glancing toward him, murmuring the name of his media image to her group. In the event that that is valid, I realized she knew what my identity was, so I went around like a youngster to the opposite side to attempt to get her and get a photograph with her. Lee reviewed, "I'm not a parched individual with the exception of with regards to Beyonce. Let me get to that." He said that he asked his companion Indian teddy bear to film the cooperation before he went to meet her. As per Lee, the first clasp wasn't unreasonably terrible, and it just turned out that way subsequent to going through alters by another craftsman who caused it to seem like Beyonce stayed away from him, albeit that was his case. Online clients aren't sure about that anyway. This didn't prevent fans from thinking about what Lee could be aware of. Beyonce YouTuber Murad Marali appears to think of a response that it very well may be proof about Beyonce or Jay-Z betraying each other anyway. No data has been heard from either party, included nobody from Beyonce's party has answered this yet, and Solange, who is generally keeping watch for her sister, should have answered the issue on the off chance that there was any reality in it. Still, some think Jason presumably has the receipt of Jay-Z treating his significant other. This should be waved away since it isn't the initial time yet. The talk deteriorated when Beyonce's previous protector, Uncle Ron, dropped a few gigantic charges against Jay-Z. As per Ron, Jay got Beyonce snared on nose candy, so he had some control over her. Ron, who has visual proof he accomplished used to work for the Carters, blamed Jay for being fixated on controlling the previous Fate's kid chief, and that their marriage was just a deal. He finished the video with a danger to Jay, saying, "Exactly the way in which I realize you began, I can lay down the law and cause everything disappear me ID. I set out to recall every one of the receipts. All the verification the old-fashioned." This was likewise affirmed by culture observer Puma Wright, who some urged to call Jay-Z a beast who jumped at the chance to control Beyonce. "Sort out some way to pay me not entirely okay, to quiet me down since they think cash going to quiet me down, and cash ain't right," said Jay-Z was consistently a beast and that she had known him for a really long time and sat tight for him to grow a heart. She guaranteed he kept on utilizing wicked ways of keeping Beyonce off. And as you can see, Jason Lee has resumed a world full of unknowns with his statement, which made bunches of individuals need to understand what everything unquestionably revolves around. That is the reason Lee must be cautious, since it appears he had disregarded Beyonce's better half. As per Ron, Jay finished the profession of Carrie Hilson due to her problem with Beyonce, and threw to the side Turnpike and Beanie Siegel when he was finished involving them for bars, so Jason should be cautious since reinforcing with Beyonce could bring about something different on the opposite side of the story. Jason isn't somebody who can completely be relied upon in light of the fact that he pulls tricks like this all when things aren't turning out well for him. Only a couple of days prior, he hauled Jennifer Hudson, calling her uneducated. The adoration and hip bounce Hollywood alum was a visitor have on the Morning Meal Club when he dug into Jeannie Mama's meeting on the Jennifer Hudson show about existence. In the midst of an unforeseen separation from Jeezy, that is where you go when you need to get your assertion across. I surmise we as a whole know Jennifer Hudson's unskilled. Lee Snidel commented that is precisely who Jason is calling an EGOT champ unskilled in light of the fact that G didn't meet him for the meeting. How are we to accept he has an enormous frighten without a doubt, or was he attempting to pull a trick? We are at the junction right presently Jason's case of having colossal proof with Beyonce didn't answer once to the claim. Would Lee uncover the scare? Assuming Kelly Rowland neglects to come to his show, we'll need to look as things unfurl. Do you accept Leon? This let us in on your viewpoint in the remarks segment? Make sure to like and buy into our channel buy-in.